Hello and welcome to Excelsior Conversations. Today, I'm excited that we have the great Michelle Klager. How are you, Michelle?
I am good. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad I could find time on your busy calendar. I think you are the busiest person I know and the most thoughtful and the most networked person I know within commercial real estate. And so I'm excited to get you on here to hopefully get more people to learn about who you are, what you do, and get into your universe. But I can tell you from personal experience, once you're in her orbit, the introductions just come and they're all really good. So if you're listening to this, if you see this on social media, you need to reach out to her, connect with her, and she will provide some great referrals for you.
Thank you. I try.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. Maybe a bit of background on yourself and the firm and what title insurance is and why does it matter?
Sure. So thank you again for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you. I think you're also an amazing networker, and I see we're aligned in that way. We both get it. So it's great to be here. So my name is Michelle Klager. I work for a title insurance company called Kensington Vanguard. We are based in New York, but we do deals all over the country. KV is the largest commercial title agent in the US. We have over 3,000 clients, 250 employees, and 15 offices around the country. So we are doing deals from your residential transaction refinance in Arizona to $1 billion purchase in Florida. We can service anything. We're also currently backed by Stone Point Capital, which is a $35 billion private equity firm. And we're one of the only backed title insurance backed by a private equity firm in the space. So it's very cool that we have that leverage. Quickly about title insurance. A lot of people that aren't in the real estate industry don't know what title insurance is, why they need it. If you're buying, refinancing, or getting a construction loan on any type of property, you need title insurance. The easiest way to explain what title is through a situation that I'll describe now. So when you get car insurance or home insurance, this protects you from anything that's going to happen to your car or home in the future. When you get title insurance, it looks back and it protects you from anything that would risk your title or ownership to the property. Banks require title when you apply for a loan. The cost is minimal compared to the coverage and benefits, so everyone gets it. So that's title insurance. Very exciting.
It's very exciting. But as a recovering attorney, I remember taking Real Property 101 as a first year law student. And my mind was blown by this concept that, in certain states, you can go back and track title to the 17th century, but you need to get it right because, title and possession are obviously very important when you're owning real assets. So, maybe not the most exciting thing in the world, but incredibly important. And more importantly, your lenders and everyone else that's involved in the transaction are going to require it. So you need to make sure it's done correctly. So getting into the transactional side of it, who controls the selection of title insurance agencies? Because there's a number of them out there. And, what can the sponsor do to make sure that they're working with the group that they prefer?
Great question. There is a lot of debate on deals, typically on who's going to run the title insurance, because it's a very relationship-based business. So people that are typically in the position to direct title on the commercial side are owners and developers, real estate attorneys, private equity firms, and lenders. On the residential deals, it's typically a broker or the real estate attorney in the deal. I come into play either before the contract sign or when the term sheet goes out. When a term sheet goes out, you can typically write who you want to do your title in the term sheet. And I have clients that will write me into their term sheets. The other amazing thing about title insurance is you can split up title between multiple companies. And some people don't realize this, even some end users don't think of this. There's no difference between cost or experience to the client. This is called co-insurance. And people have co-insurance for typically two reasons. One would be to spread out risk on a deal. So it's not all the risk is on one title company. And then the other reason is typically there are multiple decision makers on the deal and they all have different title relationships. So in that case, that's another reason to do co-insurance.
So, and I talk about this a lot when I'm on podcasts or when I'm working with younger, maybe aspiring sponsors or managers. about ways that you can leverage the settlement statement to improve your capital raising. And basically what I do is any third party that's on that settlement statement that's getting a fee out of this transaction, in my opinion, needs to be providing value beyond just the work itself, right? And I don't think
100%.
I don't think you'd be offended if I said that title insurance is a fairly commoditized business and product where pricing is not really different. Obviously, there are extenuating circumstances. And it's really important to make sure that these service providers you're working with are doing more than just kind of the basic blocking and tackling of their prime business. So maybe talk a little bit about how you can provide value to groups like mine, sponsors, managers, et cetera, beyond just kind of the title insurance work itself.
This is my favorite thing to talk about. When I'm pitching myself, which I do multiple times a day for the past 7 years, I always say that it's fine if you don't want to use me for title, but your title insurance person needs to be adding value to you. Like whoever it is, they need to be adding value. If you haven't already kind of understood from this call, from this discussion, title it's the same. You're typically going to get the same price, the same product. So the title insurance people in the business development space need to find ways to differentiate yourself. I have deeply ingrained myself in the real estate community and have strong relationships with many owners, developers, private equity funds, operators, REITs. I have been able really to grow my business by focusing on who can I introduce to each other that can potentially do deals together. So pairing sponsors with their money sources, pairing JV partners together, finding investors, finding debt relationships. I am constantly listening to what people focus on and then putting people together that I think can do business together. I would also need to mention my women's real estate networking group that I co-founded called Girl Gang. I think that this is also a huge value add, and I'll explain a couple reasons why. But Girl Gang, I co-founded it in 2016. We've grown to over 800 women, and I have this amazing captive audience that not only do we give back to the community through some of our events that we've done, but I also, we come together and try to network and do business together. And, one thing that it's been an amazing addition to Girl Gang is during the pandemic, I had clients come to me, I'm looking to hire women, or, we'd love to hire women. We have a lot of male applicants. I know you have this captive audience of 800 women. Do you have anyone that would make sense? So I started, saying to my co-founder, like, we have this amazing opportunity, not only to help the clients, that we do business with and the people in our real estate world, but also the women in this group that might want to make a career change. So we put together an email that goes out. It's called Work It Wednesdays, cute name. And it goes out every Wednesday, and we promote job opportunities on there from clients of ours in the space. And I mean, it's been pretty amazing. We have probably like 60 opportunities on there right now. Like these are, end user opportunities. And I think we've already had, maybe 3 or 4 women get jobs through this. So, I joke around that I'm a recruiter on the side now, but it's just another way, that we were able to add value. And, it's great for both parties, great for the people looking for, to hire, and great for the women in the group that are looking to make a change.
Yeah, it's all tremendous stuff. And again, I'll reiterate, she is the real deal. Like if you connect with her, you tell her what you need, it's probably going to be a week, but then out of nowhere, you're going to get 3 or 4 introductions that are just great people for you to meet. And in this business, and as a segue to this last section we're going to get into, it is cliche, but cliches exist for a reason. It really is a relationship business. And as somebody who's been raising private capital for over a decade now, warm introductions, referrals are always going to be the best way to find those capital partners and to build those relationships. And I talk about this quite a bit with my networking groups and on podcasts, et cetera, but I want to hear your thoughts. What's the right way to build a relationship in the commercial real estate business?
It's so funny. I feel as though like my job is relationship building. I mean, my job is title insurance and I have an amazing company behind me, but what I bring to the table, my value are my relationships and putting the right people together. So, I've been able to grow my client base a couple different ways. The first would definitely be organizations and also, you know, charities. Like I am involved and on the board of a lot of different organizations and charities. I think it's great when you can give back to an amazing cause as well as meet like-minded individuals. And that's kind of what, you know, these networking groups and the charities I'm involved in, that's kind of, it's all wrapped together. And I think that that's fantastic. So that's one. And then two is, and this sounds obvious, but surrounding yourself with good people in the space. Surrounding yourself with good people in the space that are hard workers will lead you to other good people in the space that are hard workers. I mean, Brian, that's how we met. We met through a great person in the real estate space who's also a connector. And now we've met so many people through each other just from that one moment of meeting. And it kind of is because we met through a great person. So I think it's really just surrounding yourself with good people, knowing what events to go to, knowing what events to get or what networking groups to get involved in, what are worth your time, because obviously time is money. But it all comes, and being patient. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I learned through this business. You got to be patient. You're not going to get business overnight. And I think that's a lot of times why people maybe don't make it in the title business or as a broker or in any of these different types of roles where you need to be patient and have longevity and know that it's going to come back around. So that's how I live my life. What goes around comes around.
Yeah, my business partner is Indian, and we talk a lot about karma, right? And I'll be just a big believer in building up that karma. It might not come next week, it might not come next month, but over time, if you help good people meet other really good people, it will always come back around and help you. So with that, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you? Obviously, we're going to push that on the socials. We're going to tag you, show notes, etc. But anybody listening that needs to get in your orbit and learn more about who you are, what you do, and get connected, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, please do. I'm looking to meet any great people in the real estate space. I'm happy to figure out how we can have a mutually beneficial relationship. You can reach me on LinkedIn. You can reach me on my email. If you're interested in Girl Gang, if you're a woman listening to this and you want to join Girl Gang, please email info@girlgangcre.com. We'll also attach my email to this video, but I'd love to meet all of you.
Awesome. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And on the pre-call before we did this, I think you and I are just going to make 2 or 3 introductions to each other just based on that 5-minute, call. So I look forward to staying in touch, and thanks for doing it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.